ready for us all to enjoy.
Mr. Matt Andrews, Mr. Hayes, Mr. Avenger, thank you so much, guys. You've heard about it on the analyst desk. You've seen it now, how close everything is. Everything coming down to this final match, 20 out of 20. So much on the line for these teams. You've seen the playing path. What's going to happen next? It's anybody's guess, Esquire.
Yeah, anybody's guess. I mean, the analyst desk, they did not want to say what teams they thought were going to be making it into the top 8. And I don't want to either, Poro, because it's going to be absolutely insane here. We're already seeing some shifts from some of our teams who are for sure likely not going to qualify, so it might be throwing a wrench in some of the plans of our teams who are trying to qualify themselves. First circle going to be popping up, shifting down to the southwestern corner of Erangel.
And that is a new circle that we have not seen so far today. We are going down to the southwest. Navi already looting up in Primorsk, feeling a little bit good about this. They aren't going to have to make any transitions, which normally, you know, wouldn't be that big of a deal for them. They're used to having to transition out of this far location, but they've been having so much trouble with it today for whatever reason. Things are just not going their way. So now, not going to have to do that, so it's feeling a little bit better, at least going into this the beginning of the game.
Yeah, certainly. Navi is going to have to pull out every trick from their bag to try to pull out whatever points they can get to get into that top 8 around the map. Though we see Welcome to South George, no surprises yet again, going to be looting up to their heart's content, and this wonderful town here going to be able to spread out as well. A few things different though on Sosnovka Island. We did see one other team landing here with Vega. Ooh. It's going to be Divine actually forcing them out of that proper military base, and they're going to be looting up on the western side of things, just riding that southwestern edge of the first circle.
A little late round hot dropping coming out from Divine, but unfortunately they chose to hot drop Vega. Neither of these teams really in the running for the top 8, so it's not going to really have too much of an impact on anybody just yet, but just keep an eye. All our Chinese teams, all our North American teams, all our EU teams, and Navi are all in contention for this top 8, so we got to see where they finish. Anybody going out early could be absolutely devastating.
Certainly, you're going to see teams just trying to control whether or not to play aggressive or passive, because it is going to mean so much whether or not you can make it into the mid to late game with your entire squad, just trying to stay consistent, trying to get into that top placement to give you just enough points to secure you a spot in this final round coming up here in just a few days. Around the map, though, continuing to look at these loot spots. Secret going to be in Severny, just looting up to their heart's content. Unfortunately, these guys are likely not going to be making it into our finals, but still going to be competing here because pride is always on the line, Poro.
Yeah, also worth noting, Welcome to South George in their normal looting location of South George, but they do have Method just to their north. Method opting to go North George and Zarki rather than the Stalbert Kameshki that they have been going the last few games. So that could make for an interesting transition path into this northern part of this circle. In here in a few minutes, you can see Eitzi, Molman. They do have plenty of room to do whatever they want right now. Nothing, no pressure just yet. Very soon, this could get very, very ugly.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could. We're going to see kind of some chaotic bits. I mean, a lot of teams are going to be trying out some new things, possibly to try to get that better placement, or possibly just because they don't have a lot of pressure behind them based off of their points and their standings on the leaderboards going into our 20th and final game of the qualifier series here for the StarSeries and I-League Season 2 event. Voxic, though, going to be looting up in the prison here. The Knights, they like to separate on the East Coast.
Yeah, pretty standard for the Knights. Voxic taking down this prison area. Texas just to his west, looting up in the shelter. Krema and Drayden just off to the east. They should reconnect here fairly soon. We hear a plane flying over with a nice little care package. Could find somebody, get themselves a nice little come up before having to make their way in. Vega has already left Military Island and made their way in after getting the hot drop from Divine. They might do a little bridge camp here just to prove a point, if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, we might see that come out, but certainly a few teams already recognizing the importance of having an early rotation and securing a favorable compound at the onset of the game and not waiting too much time and risk crashing into a compound where a team is already inhabiting. Tainted Mind's going to be making their own rotation, and here comes Navi sort of shifting off of that Primorsk looting location, going to be passing this warehouse factory, continuing up north. They don't have vehicles. Shade and Uba are going to be on foot, and we can see a few teams just ahead of them. Valier going to be pulling off some buggy tricks, able to land that super calculated for this guy as he continues on down south from the northern position.
Yeah, Optic doing an interesting rotation path here, or transition path rather, from Razak going north of the river and then back running alongside of Everest. We have one kill already, and that's going to be Victory 5. That's one of our teams that's in contention. They've lost Little Lee going forward now to Victory 5. They do have Divine there, too, as well.
Yeah,
or wait, no, that's a spectator glitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Little Lee going to be our first blood here of our 20th game, and here's the replay to bring you that action. You can see Shocks from Team 17 going to be able to easily spot out Victory 5's Little Lee, and it was only a matter of time before those shots would be ringing true. We can see LSN from Victory 5 going to be holding up in this barn. He does not want to leave because certainly he knows that guns are going to be aiming in his direction. Crate going to be landing, though, on the map. Let's see what's inside, Poro.
Yeah, this one's all the way off to the southwest. Not very likely to get looted. I don't think anybody's going to transition this far out, but that would have been a nice come up had they gone this way. The AWM with the suppressor and the ghillie and all the goodies to go along with it. The Navi now still taking shots down to LSN. Victory 5 having a rough early game so far.
Yeah, Uba and Shade going to be spotting out this UAZ on the southern side of the barn. They know that someone is likely in that compound, so might as well disable the vehicle and, try to do whatever you can to inhibit that player from rotating out. But here it is, Poro. You called it. The bridge camp is in full effect. Kimba 7 going to be lying in prone, lying in wait, hoping to catch out the members from Divine.
And they have the buggy hidden. Kemba remaining prone, making sure that Divine can't see them. If nothing else, this is going to prove a point. How dare you hot drop us at our military location? But look at Divine just pulls up and hops out.
Holy cow, talk about 200 IQ. These guys were able to sort of sense that something was wrong, and Kimba 7 does not land a shot. It's going to be Levi. Is able to get the knock on to Kimba, and Nikki following up with the M416, going to be dropping this player from Vega. The bridge camp did not work.
How did they know he was there? Everything was hidden. Unless they had some kind of vision onto something, they just did not feel right about it.
I think it's likely that since they landed on Military Island, they almost expected that something fishy was at play, and rolling up on that like they did was extremely important for Divine in that case. Maxes are going to be on the northern side of this bridge, and here comes the caravan of Divine, going to be rolling past him now, but Maxazor has no care for this. He wants to get out of Dodge. Certainly a 1v4 is not the fight he wants to take.
He's fortunate that he does have that motorcycle. Levis is going to take a few shots his way, nothing going to land, but Maxazor are going to be able to rejoin the rest of his squad, now playing with 3 for the rest of this one.
Playing with 3 indeed. 60 teams remaining, 62 players alive. Cobra going to be spotting out some of the members of Welcome to South George. Gaxi going to be under fire in that vehicle. Going to be trying to bob and weave, avoiding these shots. Z9 Max trying to get a nice Car 98 headshot on a moving vehicle. Certainly an ambitious shot, but if he landed it, man, that would have been one for the highlight reels.
Absolutely ambitious. But you can see now Secret making their way just to this north side of Everest. Welcome to South George has made their way into the center of the circle, as we see, trying to find a place to call home, but they're getting lit up right now.
Yeah, somehow Secret Fiend was able to be was taken out by himself, and then 17 going to be returned on as well. Optic Valier going to be ripping through 2 of the members of Secret right now. Our last place position team. This is not what they wanted to have happen. Certainly, as we mentioned, pride is on the line here. The way that you go out in match number 20 is how you will be remembered going forward.
Vega actually getting some revenge here on Divine. JJ Leah going to go down. Worth noting that those 2 kills for Secret went to Optic, though, so that's 14 points for Optic going forward, and they need every point that they can get. Everybody needing every point that they can get at this point. JJ Leo most likely not going to get picked up here. Jet, the rest of Divine, going to hold this hilltop while Vega holds the compound just below them.
Yeah, we can see Jet. He's got the suppressed SKS. He has the 8 times prepped and ready to rain down Hellfire on top of any of the members of Vega that present the opportunity. Kippy going to be rolling around the outside of this wall, trying to get some peeks. He's got a Car 98, but unfortunately only a holographic sight on top of that.
Yikes. But, for right now, that's a pretty close shot. You can probably get some damage done with that Car 98. And Kippy, definitely one who can land those shots. Looks like Divine doesn't want to really stick around for this too much longer, though. They're just going to move a little bit farther back, make sure that Vega knows that they are still there, but Vega should be protecting their north side.
Yeah, they absolutely should be. It looks like Divine is going to opt to get out of here, but back into the action. Welcome to South George. We can see how close they are to Tainted Minds. We saw some connections already coming out, and in the kill feed, we actually see Method finding some connections as well onto the remaining members of Secret. But 4 men strong for Tainted Minds. They're going to be holding down in this compound, trying to avoid whatever shots from around the map that they can. But in the meantime, we see Smitty bleeding out in this garage compound. He is going to be swarmed on by the 4-man strong squad of Method.
That's a nice 7 points for Method as they pull into the very northernmost part of this circle, as we are still about 40 seconds away from this circle constricting, and we'll see where we're going to go next. Everybody kind of centralizing here on this on this first circle at least. We do have a couple of stragglers coming in. Gen G just now making their way in. Ghost making their way into Pachinki. We have MVP slowly making their way into the north side, just now getting out of the blue on their transition from Yasnaya.
Absolutely. Tandem Mines just continuing to try to get some damage on Welcome to South George. We saw that Vard was knocked. He was able to be rezzed. But in the meantime, Benshu continues to peek through this broken door, trying to land whatever shots he can. Extreme 2G, one of the top fraggers in this tournament. An outstanding performance from him throughout these 20 games, just trying to see if he has an opportunity to put out some damage, to whittle down his opponents as we continue on down to the southwest for circle number 2. And here it is, centered almost directly on top of Corey.
Yeah, not a bad circle for a lot of these teams. There are going to be we are going to be seeing some transitions. Knights already hopping into their vehicles, making their way in. Ghost still continuing their transition from Pachinki. MVP coming from the north side, but Quarry still relatively unoccupied. We do have Navi just off to the east, but the hills around Quarry pretty barren right now. So there are some places that these teams can go, and look at this.
So many rotations coming out of this eastern side of the map. We can see shots coming left and right, cars flipping, cars
Loki
just rolling all over the place. Everyone is colliding. Simzen going to be rolling off the tails of 47 Gamer from Team 17. A lot of these teams in this bit of chaos right now are trying to compete for these top 8 positions. It's going to be incredible who's going to be able to get out of here and who's going to be able to seek out that first compound that's going to be readily available here in circle number 2. Shots
Texas
already coming out, and it's going to be Texas dropped down to about 40% HP from team number 17.
He just dropped out of his line of sight at the right moment. He hit a tree, but fortunately for him, he did not slow down enough for that kill to be finished off by 17. He's going to keep on rotating. They see Gen G still trying to make their way. Navi is going to try to make their way to somewhere new. Divine still causing problems for everyone around them. They have already made their way to this quarry entrance and are just raining shots down on everyone around them. Gen G just pulling away, not wanting to crash this just yet.
Yeah, a very tough spot for Divine to kind of be in for the other teams around the map, because everyone's going to be kind of colliding around this centralized area, specifically Corey. So, you know, what Divine can do here is going to be playing out not just for them, but also the other teams around the map who are trying to compete and trying to reach up in that top 8 position. Example, in the rest of M19 going to be moving in off of that far position. They're going to be riding out, taking a lot of blue damage in the process in favor of a late rotation. And granted, how crowded this circle is, Poro, I don't know if it's going to be favorable for them.
This is an extremely late rotation from M19. You see Batulin still out in the lead right now, scouting for his squad. He's made his way to the bridge. Can see that it's clear for right now. Actually, looks like he's just going to keep on going around. So they might be just trying to swim across on this and play it extremely risk averse. So right now, Tainted Minds got a res onto Benshu. In the smoke, they are holding a pretty strong position here right on by this sniper tower. It's a little bit farther to the north. They got vision onto Method as they're transitioning in. Meanwhile, 17 still taking shots at whatever they can see.
Yeah, dangerously nearby to the rest of Gen G, directly to the southeast. He needs to reunite with his teammates. We can see them coming in now, flying in through that caravan, drawing the attention of Wicked, drawing the attention of Simsim. The shots are coming out. Can they find the connections? Third-party action coming out of Victory 5 just to the north as well. Over here to Method. We can see some shots connecting from Tainted Minds onto Raffy. Both of these squads have 4 men to work with, but here it is. 2 of our top teams, 2 of our top competitors from this tournament. Team 17 going to be positioning themselves just up the hill from Gen G.
This is a really strong position for Team 17. They get so much vision over that field just off to the east. Right now you can see the rest of MVP trying to make their way in. They came in from the north but ran into Ghost. Both of the Ghost actually needing to worry about this fight a lot more than MVP does. But MVP, you know that they will stop and they will fight it out with you. But it looks like instead they're just got to opt to get on out of there.
Exactly. MVP going to be rolling through in this caravan, very spread out. It looks like Pang was able to secure a compound for he and the rest of his team. Zero, Tan, Alpaca, and Siege going to be rolling down, but so much gunfire going to be off their tails. M19 just still trying to escape the blue zone, not able to get across the bridge. They didn't want to opt to take that route, able to find a boat, and this is the way that they're going to be proceeding north.
They're going to be rolling 4 deep up onto the shoreline in this boat. They should just make it out of the blue right now. They'll all be healed up. Don't have to worry about losing anybody to the blue. Interesting to see where they decide to land. There's a couple of spots that are occupied. Knights holding one of them, but there's a lot of empty shoreline that M19 can make it in on here.
Yeah, certainly it's going to be easy for them to approach the edge, but as they make their way towards the center, as this second circle will be closing, they're going to be hard-pressed to find an empty compound.
No.
XMC,
He got out.
He was able to get out, or QMCC was able to get out of the car, but unfortunately dropped very low. The shots from Jet and the SKS will be dropping him almost immediately thereafter, but the kill was actually stolen from Genji's Loki.
Yeah, and you got to wonder why that rotation came in there from QCC. 17 held such a strong position, and they are still in on this next circle. They sent one player out to scout, I guess, the hills just to the south of Quarry. But, you know, it's late game. There's still 57 alive. That is a very risky scout, I would think.
Yeah, certainly based off of how many players have been eliminated, the fact that we still have all 16 teams alive, it is showing true that these teams do not want to go out. They know how much is on the line, and they are playing just like it. Optic rolling off of that western side, able to pick up a quick crate before they made their way in off of this edge of the circle. Z9 Max and the rest of XQuest, though, going to be moving up on a Welcome to South George, who is currently holding the cliffs above the quarry. They've got the lines of sight, but Z9 Max was able to get up along the cliffside, avoiding any of these lines of sight for the time being. But Miracu going to be wrapping around, trying to look down on top of this player from XQuest.
You can see Cobra right alongside of him, but they do have their squad mates just to the east, but they got, or just to the west, they're getting picked off by Optic. That's AK going down and out. So XQuest now down to 3, and Z9 Max and Cobra in a really rough spot here with WTSG right above them.
Yeah, this has been a bit of a chaotic shift for these guys coming through the circle, and it's kind of being shown here. And that's going to be Team Secret wiped out in 16th position, but a significant 7 points going over to Ghost Gaming as McCoy was able to find the connection with the AKM. Around the map, though, we're still seeing these engagements played out. Welcome to South George going to be congregating very close to one another on the cliffs here, just trying to see if they can spot out the members from XQuest that were pushing up on them. Thankfully, though, for Welcome to South George, some of the members of XQuest were just taken out, so they're only going to be having to worry about Z9 Max and his final teammate.
Yeah, Welcome to South George, just holding down the top here. Z9 Max just going to hug this cliffside. They're down to 3 players. They have no kills yet, but they need to last as long as possible. They are in contention for this top 8. While Tainted Minds getting vision on to 17 here.
Subslayer going to be throwing out some shots with the Mini 14. Subslayer been a powerful player for this squad as well. Tainted Minds just having a very tough time competing against so many dominant forces from all around the globe. Na'Vi still 4 men strong, trying to do whatever they can. They know what they have to do. They just have to execute off of it. So much is on the line for one of our teams from the CIS.
So far, Na'Vi in a fairly safe position right now in the hills just to the south of Quarry. They have it all to themselves right now, but they could be getting pushed here very soon by Knights and by M19. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we go forward. Meanwhile, a crate falling just near Ghost, but there is a member from XQuest that's just nearby. You can hear the shots actually coming down. The shots coming from the south are actually from Optic. I'm not sure what kind of vision they have here. It looks like they might just be sending shots that way to scare them away.
Yeah, certainly. You can tell that Balak wants that crate. He's going to be inching his way up towards it, just trying to avoid the lines of sight from the south, from the other North American team in this lobby. Balak doesn't know who's shooting at him, but certainly we as spectators, you as viewers at home, know exactly what is coming his direction. But now it's going to be XQuest. One of the 3 members, Zhao Du, going to be finding some of the members of Ghost rushing up, trying to protect Balak as he secures that level 3 kit.
Yeah, Balak does find himself a nice little crate come up. Zhao Du going to be able to scare off the boys from Ghost for now from that compound. Might not be long until they realize that it was only 1 gun shooting at him, though.
M19.
Depends on how aggressive they want to be.
Yeah, exactly. M19, Porter, you just talked about them. They're going to be moving up from their position just north of Primorsk, just trying to inch their way in on foot to get into a position on the southern edge of this circle, just to the west of where the Knights are currently holding out. But more and more shots begin to ring out as these teams are trying to solidify positions and get ready for the next shift that is about to happen in a matter of 5 seconds. MVP up to the north, already going to be sending down Pang and one of the other teammates to try to find that circle.
Wow.
And right on top of Vega, a hard shift up to the north, going to be our next circle.
That is a rough shift in that circle there. All these teams to the south now have to make their way all the way around. You can see Na'Vi already hopping into vehicles, trying to make their way off towards the eastern edge of this, but they're going to run right into 17 here, and Uba's going to get taken out already.
Ooh, Na'Vi did not want this to happen. Uba, one of the stronger players on this squad, going to be dropped down almost immediately. Team 17 spots out the rest of the Na'Vi caravan, trying to spray down with a 5.56 from the Scar and get the connections. Unfortunately, not able to do so, but the damage has been done. Na'Vi will be pushing on into the mid to late game with 3 strong.
They are managing to stay alive for right now. They are getting rained down on by Tainted Minds right now, though. The smokes are going to come out. The vehicle for it is going to be made. They are in the circle, so they just have to try to survive here. I don't think they've gotten vision on where Tainted Minds are shooting them from yet. And in your bottom of your corner, or bottom corner of your screen, you can see Victory 5 now running into Method as well.
Yeah, a lot of teams just getting so packed in. The Corey is such a block for any of the teams in the south. They have to rotate around the east or the west. They can't go directly through Corey, and it is going to create such an incredible battlefield on both the western and eastern sides of this next circle. We can already see teams congregating so close to one another. Team 17 has rotated off of their position, going to be riding along the northern cliffs of the Corey, where Welcome to South George has been holding. It looks like Gaxi and the rest of the boys have spotted out this push. They're going to be throwing out the pressure.
Yeah, they want this right now. Welcome to South George needs to clear this out. They already take out you with a great grenade from Gaxi. 47 Gaming gets taken very, very low here as well. Shox is going to come up at the top of this hillside. They need to be careful, and no, that's going to be it for Gaxi.
The third-party action, Nikki with a nice Kar 98 shot, going to be taking down Gaxi. The kill feed is absolutely lighting up. Teams are going head-to-head at this point in the game. The action is erupting. Method going to be spotting out Gen G, rotating off of that northeastern corner, trying to do whatever they can to rack up the points. Everything that you can get here in our 20th game of our qualifiers is going to count.
While all this is going on the western edge of this circle, Knights have rotated right into Optic and Ghost. Ghost has lost one member already. That's going to be McCoy. Our kill leader, essentially, for this entire tournament has gone down for Ghost, but they have made their way into the circle. Optic still going back and forth with Knights, though. Bahawaka is going to go down. He's very split off from his team. It looks like they're not going to go for the res here.
Yeah, he was able to get a quick drop on Voxic, so it's going to kind of stall the push from the Knights for the time being as they try to recoup off this, try to get their fourth teammate up, recognizing how significant having 4 players up into this late game is going to be for them. Tex is going to be finishing off Bahawaka, but here comes the push from Victory 5 onto Method's compound. We can see Raffy and Xchris going to be exiting this compound, trying to get a nice flank. The shot's coming out from Xchris, taking down Landman to about 40% HP, but he's able to rotate behind cover. The smoke's coming out, giving them concealment, but here comes the damage.
And that's going to be Shandian, the last remaining player up for Victory 5. This is such an important fight for them. If he goes down, that's going to be Victory 5 going out in 15th, and that is their hopes for making the next half of this tournament going down the drain with him.
Absolutely. Method barely phased by this engagement now, and that is all she wrote for Victory 5. Going to be eliminated in 15th position. 23 minutes into our final game of the qualifiers. 14 teams remaining, 44 players alive. The Knights will be pushing on along this western edge of the circle, trying to spot out Ghost Gaming.
Knights making their way through the swamp. Ghost is just to their north, Optic just to their south, and now M19 could be joining them as well. Oh, that's going to be a down on Elajan. Valiant down as well for Optic. Both of the NA squads with 2 up. The Knights pushing in, and the new circle has popped, and all of these teams are outside of it.
Yep, they are going to have to continue on with this northern transition. Unfortunate for Ghost in this position itself because they had to engage on yet another squad. Didn't expect Knights to come off of that southern position. Turtle behind the tree dropped to about 10% HP. Grenade's going to be coming in on top of him. He's only got a Vector spraying down. So much damage will be coming his way. The push is coming, and here comes Drayton around the corner, and he's going to be able to find the connection.
And Alajan still down. Balak now the last remaining player up for Ghost. He is alive and he is in the circle, but that's going to be it for the Ghost. Meanwhile, Hetror, the last remaining player for Optic. Hypoc is down. I'm not sure if they can get the res onto him. Meanwhile, Knights now should be able to get this res.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the res once again onto Voxic. That was his second knock, so very important to stick that res almost immediately as the bleed out damage has ramped up for Voxic in particular. Here is Vega, though, still holding on to this compound. It was center on our previous circle. Now they're finding themselves dead smack on the edge of the southern part of this next circle. Alajan going to be bleeding out, just trying to crawl around and get some information for his remaining teammate of Ghost Gaming, Balak, who has secured, at least for now, the edge position on the western side.
And M19 is also downed and killed off Voxic, so now it's just down to Drayden and Krema for the Pittsburgh Knights as M19 making their way up the side. But now you can see Divine is in trouble from 17 Gaming here. 17 still have 2 up. They have 4 kills to their name. They need to make something happen here. They need every kill they can get. Look at Method making their way up, and that's going to be it for Tainted Minds going out in 12th place.
And Method picking up 4 kills for that. That's going to be a whopping 28 points for these guys, and it is so important. Method being an absolute threat right now. They've been wiping through squad after squad, just pretty much destroying hopes and dreams for these teams.
But they're down to 2 players now as well as M19 is running to Knights again. That's going to be Bottling going down. M19 elite player gets taken very, very low. Constantine still up and still alive. Going to throw the frag. What can he find? It's going to come out from Prima as well. Drayden has the DP. He's going to find an elite player, and that's going to be it for M19 going out in 11th. So that is bad news for M19.
The stars are starting to align for some of these teams who are just on the cusp of qualifying. This is exactly what you wanted to see if you were right at that point, right at that critical point around 1,900 points. And here it comes. Knights Drayden going to be pushing up, but Balak spots him out. Will Drayden be able to spray down with a DP28 and get another connection?
No.
He will, and that's going to be Ghost Gaming eliminated in 10th position. Ghost did not want that to happen, especially given how close the leaderboards were. I cannot wait. I cannot even imagine how the leaderboards are going to be shaping up and where Ghost will end after this game.
Everything can shift around. M19 going into this game was in 3rd place. They are now out. Ghost Gaming in 5th. They are now out. Welcome to South George. It's getting taken very low. Currently sitting in 4th. Larson trying to run from the blue, but that's going to be WTSG going out in 9th. 17 Gaming still alive. All our Chinese teams, I believe, still up. Except for one.
Vega just absolutely ripping through these teams on the southern edge. Welcome to South George, previously in 4th position before this game, going to be wiped out. And this is incredibly tough for all of these squads. We can see so much pressure coming out on this map, and Method is going to be eliminated. It's going to be a grenade from Vaxazor and Vega coming out and connecting on to 80, and then a beautiful and mini 14 shot from Genji to wipe out Method.
This is insane how quick this all popped up. There are now just 18 alive with 7 teams remaining. We have MVP is still up. Genji is still up. Our top 2, obviously, we love them, but we don't care about them right now. Knights still have 2 up. Optic with 1. XQuest with 2, Vega have 3, and 17 Gaming still has 1 player alive.
Wicked going to be bleeding out right now. Chelator able to stick the res behind that little bit of defilade. We can see Drayden here. He's got the Groza prepped. This gun is so powerful in the late game. It puts out so much damage if you're in the close range and able to get those shots off. Pang, though, going to be spotting out one of the members from Gen G, just trying to get some peeks.
17.
17 going to be eliminated. Vega once again. Vega being such a dominant force here in this late game. I did not expect this at all from them, Poro.
This is huge for Optic right now. They have to stay alive. Hetror is right behind the boys from XQuest. XQuest could jump them if they find him. Hetror is going to get the down on his Xiaodu. What can he do? There's still 1 player alive for XQuest. That's going to be Z9 Max. If Hetror wins this fight, that could be sealing Optic's ticket to the final 8.
He's got to be so careful, though. He's dropped down to about 40% HP, and the blue will be pushing on his back. A beautiful grenade going to be thrown out, and Hetror's racking up 14 points and a solid further position here in our 20th game. Continuing on as a snake, letting the blue zone push his way in. He needs to be careful. A lot of threats going to be coming. Zero Tank going to be wrapping around the edge of this, possibly going to be spotting out Drayden in just a few seconds.
We have MVP and Genji, Knights, Hetror, and Vega. Knights, they spot out Drayden. The shots are coming in on Drayden from MVP. But I feel comfortable in saying, though, Knights might be secure here, as well as Optic. Everybody else, though, it's a complete up in the air. Who knows?
And that's
Optic's going to go out in 5th.
Vega spotting out yet another team and taking them down and out. Shots going to be connecting with the M416 on the Hetror, and that's going to be Optic in 5th position here in our final game of the qualifiers. Drayden going to continue to snake his way in as we have 4 teams remaining, 10 players alive, a 2.5 player average per team, and that is absolutely insane. MVP with 4 of those players going to be wrapping around just trying to choke out any other teams left on the map.
Yeah, Vampire Game has been spotted out by Gen G. Shots are coming in, and all our guys are going to have to move. Drayden, Vampire Game both have to move in. They've both been spotted out individually by one of the other teams. But how fitting is it that after 20 games, it is going to come down to a 4v4 between our top 2, MVP and Gen G. These teams have been killing it these last 4 days.
Yeah, they absolutely have been. And like we mentioned earlier, like the desk also mentioned, if you're one of the 8 teams going to be in the final rounds from last season, you are going to be fearing MVP and Gen G, who you will most certainly be facing off against. But as we continue on here in our final game of the qualifiers, 30 minutes into this game, MVP just still trying to hold on to this northern position, not over aggressively playing this, just kind of sitting back and letting the zone shift everyone into them.
Yeah, Vampire Game going to have to leave his little hidey hole here eventually, and Simpson knows exactly where he is. The second Vampire Game steps away from that, those shots are going to come out. Simpson's going to have to move himself to get into the circle, but he can't afford to wait a little bit here. But now it looks like Gen G and MVP are going to start squaring off.
Yeah, this is the engagement that we wanted for our two top teams. I think it's safe to say of the qualifying tournament, they're going to be popping off shots back and forth. They are on opposite ends of the circle, and Gen G has a very dominant hold on this circle, pretty much securing at least 50% of it to their own, at least with the lines of sight that will be presented from them. Simson going to be watching the southwest behind that shack. Siege just trying to do whatever he can to spot out any other threats coming from the south.
Now's the time, chat. Place your bets in the chat. Who do you have winning between our top two teams, MVP or Gen G? Both of them have nice little ridge lines to work with along this roadside. Meanwhile, Drayden and Vampire Games still have to make their way in. Vampire's finally left his spot.
You know what? This is the setup portal that dreams are made of. Maybe one of our solo players, Drayden under Vampire Gaming, are going to be able to pull out something, but it looks like Vampire spots out Drayden. Knight's going to be dropped out in 4th position. Vega continues to roll through team after team after team. 9 total kills for them here in our final game. Will he be able to make it a double digit?
Very good. Just a great performance coming out of Vega in this final game. Yes, you know, it was very likely that they were out of the tournament, but still coming in and performing admirably in this final game, this Vampire game.
We talked about it. This is how you're remembered. So much is on the line. If you're not going to be qualifying, certainly you want to be known as a player who didn't give up, tried their best through the entirety of the tournament, and Vampire is showing that right now. But it looks like MVP going to be rotating around that eastern edge directly into Gen G. Loki in the prone position, going to be looking for this. He's got the M416 primed and ready. He's got the red dot, going to be spraying down on Alpaca, going to be dropping him, trying to get the knock on the Siege. Able to do so, but O10 finds the connection right back onto Loki.
He gets 2 before going down, though, and that's going to let his team know that they can push this. MVP, I believe, down to just 1 player now, and that's going to be Pang, who went out to go look in the field to see if he can find Vampire Game.
Incredibly difficult for these guys to be working with. It is now a 4v1v1 situation. Gen G versus the 2 solo players, 1 from Vega, 1 from MVP. The grenade coming out from Sinzin will be finding its connection on the Vampire, wiping Vega out in 3rd place. Now our top 2 teams it's only fitting that they would be ending game number 20 in the top 2 positions.
He killed himself.
Gen G with the 1st place finish in our final game of the Season 2 qualifiers for